Hi, welcome and thank you for joining me for the daily practice. My name is Elisa Garcia. Namaste. Today our practice and flow is dedicated to our root chakra. We're going to be focusing on grounding, centering, balancing, and reconnecting with Source so that we may experience rejuvenation, revitalization, and energy. I'm also going to be noting a few common areas of the body where we can cause discomfort or even pain over time during our sustained practice when we are not completely in alignment. So I'll just highlight a few areas for us today. Please take a moment to gather any props, anything that you may want to use for modifications, and always feel comfortable to move into an entirely different pose if the one that we're working in doesn't serve you at that time. Thank you. I look forward to our practice together today. Here we go. Turning to the top of my mat, inhaling, grounding and planting feet straight down. Back is straight, head and neck are soft here. Always we can begin by bending our knees here, drawing our arms up parallel to our ears. Pushing up, maintaining bent knees, swan dive. We're going to fold forward. Hands can come to the mat here, or we can have our hands on blocks at any height or orientation that's most comfortable for us. Drawing the tailbone up here to any level of straight legs if it's available. Head and neck are down. Allow the weight of our head and neck to fold forward here. Feel free to maintain any level of bent knees anytime we take a folding forward bend, downward dog, any pose where you feel that a micro bend can assist you and support you. We don't want to strain the low back, we want to relieve compression. Often we spend most of our days sitting, commuting, working, and straining. So from here, just make sure that I'm allowing the head and neck to come down and ground forward. Inhale. On our exhale, you can begin to straighten the legs if it's comfortable for you to any level. Again, feel free to maintain that micro bend. Inhale here, draw the arms parallel to the ears and drawing the body up. Inhale, pulling the fingertips up here. Exhale, I'm going to lean to my right. I'm going to inhale, coming through center here. Exhale, leaning to my left. And inhale back through center, drawing the side waist up by extending the fingertips. And exhale, bend the knees, fold forward. Again, hands can come onto the mat or blocks, knees can stay bent here. We can begin to draw the tailbone up, allow the head and neck to come down. You can still keep a micro bend here. On my inhale here, I'm going to bend my knees a little deeper, take a hold of my elbows. And on my exhale, I'm going to begin to bring motion here into the low back by moving the hips right and left and swaying here in ragdoll. I'm going to switch the holding of my elbows and continue to move right and left if this is comfortable. Planting the feet, push down here through my hands onto the blocks or mat and begin to fold forward here. Again, any level of bent legs is going to assist in not adding to or aggravating any already existing low back pain from sitting throughout our day. Inhaling here, and on my exhale, I'm going to begin to open my hands just a little bit more, shoulders distance apart,
And bringing mindful awareness as I'm going to begin to step back from forward bend into runner's lunge and then into plank pose. So I'm going to make sure that my wrists are below my shoulders. I'm going to extend my right leg back here. And inhale and runner's lunge, allowing the head and neck to be in alignment with the rest of the spine here, not dropping it completely unless that's comfortable for you, but also not straining to hold it here. I'm going to inhale and exhale. I'm going to release the left leg back, holding and engaging the core here. Elbows are straight, but nothing is strained here. Head and neck are straight. And I'm going to release down to the mat. Head can come to the mat if this is available and comfortable. And inhale. On my exhale, I'm going to release my arms behind me here, palms facing up. And I'm going to prepare to come into Cobra pose here, bringing my hands at my side. Inhale, drawing up, pulling the shoulders up and back, head and neck are back, gaze is soft and neutral. And come forward here on our exhale. I'm taking a few breaths here on my mat, preparing to come up to upward dog. I'm going to adjust my alignment here, bringing my hands a little further back at my side. Just again, stacking these wrists underneath my shoulder. Really don't want the shoulder too far forward or behind the wrist in any way. This is going to cause discomfort in the wrists and both in the shoulders. We really want to build strength and flexibility. And if at any time there's any strain on our wrists, we can always come to bent knees in most positions to assist with relieving strain on the wrists. I'm going to inhale here. I'm going to push up onto my hands and tops of my feet. I'm going to spread my fingers open here, engaging my core. And I'm going to exhale. I'm going to roll over. Inhale here. On the exhale, feel free to draw the heels down. This is a great pose to bring modification into here. Hands can be on blocks. Knees can definitely be bent here during the entire downward dog or any portion of it. Inhaling and exhaling, drawing the heels down, extending the arms, pulling the tailbone back, feeling strong, rooted and grounded. Head and neck are straight and parallel to our arms here so that we are feeling the weight of our head grounding down, drawing us closer to the earth, allowing the head and neck to relieve any strain here from daily use, from sitting and gazing at a computer screen or having our head too far down if we're using other devices. I'm going to take a moment here and really stretch back down here. If at any time you need to come out of downward dog to take a break, just feel free to come down onto knees here. You can come into tabletop. Again, adjusting that our wrists are under our shoulders here. And feeling free to come back down here with our tailbone down. And this is a wonderful place to also take a modification. If we prefer, we can use a cushion, a bolster, block or two below our tailbone, relieving any strain here. And if we prefer, we can extend and slide our arms out here in child's pose. it's more comfortable to come up onto forearms here, feel free to do that. And again, drawing the waist right and left here, a wiggle in our puppy pose here. And release the tailbone back. From here, I'm going to curl the toes over. I'm just going to remove this cushion. I'm going to prepare again to come into downward dog, pushing up onto toes, drawing the heels back and down, tailbone draws down, arms are straight, knees can of course be bent. Inhaling and exhaling here, drawing the heels down. Head and neck should release down towards our mat again. And from here, I'm going to lift my right leg up and begin to bend my right knee and begin to look under my right shoulder here. Gaze is soft, head and neck are in alignment with my arms. Inhale, exhale, release your foot down here and pull back. Again, we can take a break here and come down into tabletop. Inhale, exhale, head and neck are in alignment with my spine. Wrists are under my shoulders here. Knees are under my hips. And beginning to allow the tailbone to come down here. Again, down to any height that assists you here. And if it's available, begin to draw the tailbone down in child's pose and fingertips towards the front of our mat. Not collapsing the shoulders down here, just allowing for a nice soft stretch in the shoulders here. Inhale. Come back up to tabletop here. And from tabletop, I'm going to come into, push back up into downward dog here from tabletop. Again, adding that micro bend. We're also bending our ankles just a little bit here when we bend our knees. And allowing for motion and movement in here to soften the pose. From here, I'm going to walk my fingers up, walk my feet up in between my fingers. Bring my arms parallel to the ears in chair pose. Draw myself up. Inhale, exhale. Begin to bring my head to fingertips here, hands in namaste at heart. Focusing on the balance and centering energy that I'm creating here during my practice, and noting my alignment, bringing mindful awareness into my practice so that I can set myself up for longevity, success, and good health and well-being over time during my practice. Beginning to bend the knees here, lift the hands, swan dive, fold forward. From here, we're going to go ahead and extend the left leg out. Hands are shoulders distance apart. Inhaling here and exhaling in runner's lunge. Head and neck are straight. Extend the right leg behind us onto toes here. Again, holding in plank. If we are not comfortable with this, then just come to knees. Otherwise, we're going to hold in plank as we come down to the mat here. Straighten our toes, release our head to the mat, Hands come back for cobra. Inhale, shoulders up, head and neck are straight, gaze is soft. Exhale, come down to the mat here. Hands adjust further back for upward dog. Grounding here, releasing down into our mat and preparing to push up on our inhale to upward dog here.
Inhale, push up. Head and neck are back. Gaze is soft. Pushing weight into our hands and tops of feet. And I'm going to roll through here, bringing your feet flat on the mat if it's available, or drawing the heels down as we come through downward dog here. Inhaling and exhaling. Let's lift our left leg up. Begin to bend our left foot behind us as we gaze under our left shoulder here. Inhale, and on our exhale, begin to bring our legs straight down here. Inhale onto tippy toes. Exhale, pushing back here and walking the feet up between my hands. Inhale, bend the knees, chair pose, pushing up here. Let's come to a back bend here by drawing the hands back behind the head and back to center here. Inhale, bend the knees, swan dive, fold forward, hands on blocks or on mat. And from here, I'm going to extend the right leg back. I'm going to drop the right knee down. Inhale. As I'm putting weight into my right knee, I'm going to draw my arms up and overhead for a low lunge back bend here. Head and neck follow the spine. Release the hands forward here. On my inhale, I'm going to begin to bring my left hand to the inside of my left leg, and exhale, come down here. Both arms parallel, forearms on the mat here, allowing for the head and neck to just be in position along with the spine here. Inhale, I'm going to come back up onto hands. Place my left hand back on the outside of my left leg. On the exhale, I'm going to push back up into runner's lunge. Release my left leg behind me here. Come down to the mat from plank. Inhale up to cobra pose. Shoulders are back, head and neck are back, gaze is soft. Release down to the mat. Just the hands for upward dog here. Pushing up through upward dog onto hands. Open the fingers and pushing on to the tops of the feet. Rolling through to downward dog. Inhale, bend the knees, open the feet, draw the heels down here. And inhale. My exhale, I'm going to lift my right leg back behind me, draw it in front of me, in between my toes. Hands are adjusting here, shoulders distance apart in runner's lunge, dropping the left knee. Inhale here. On our exhale, we're going to bring the right hand down on the inside of the right foot and release down towards our mat. Head and neck are in alignment with our spine here. I'm going to push back up onto hands. Right hand comes to the outside of the right foot here. And from here, I'm going to go ahead and draw the arms up and overhead and back for a low lunge back bend. The order changed slightly here, so if you want to take an additional stretch on the inside of the right leg, feel free. And from here, I'm going to prepare to come back up to runner's lunge, pushing up onto toes here. Inhale, exhale, Right leg comes back, holding in plank here. Wrists are under shoulders, releasing down to the mat. Inhale. And on the exhale here, I'm going to bring my forearms to my side and begin to draw the shoulders up. Head and neck are back here in Sphinx pose. And from Sphinx, I'm going to release my head down to the mat. Hands come to my side, preparing to come to upward dog. Inhale, pushing up to upward dog. Head and neck are back, gaze is soft. I'm rolling through to downward dog. Inhale, bend the knees. Exhale, draw the tailbone back here. Heels draw down. From here, I'm going to walk my hands back towards my feet. Allow myself to hang here over my folding forward bend. I can allow the knees to come to bend here. Take a hold of my elbows. Draw the waist right and left here. And from here, adjust my feet. Hands can come to halfway lift here. Head and neck are straight. Gaze is soft. Chin is down. And release. Fold forward over bent knees. Inhale. Arms can come parallel to the ears here. Tailbone is down. Knees are bent. Drawing up through center. Inhale. Release the hands to the heart. From here, I'm going to open my feet about mat's distance apart. Feet are 45 degrees here to the mat. Inhale, bend my knees, push up. I'm going to come down into a squat here. If it's available to me, I'm going to bring my hands to Namaste, the center of my squat. If you prefer to use blocks below the tailbone here, that's fine, or do anything that we need to do to bring the floor higher up so that we're in balance with our body. Okay, so not pushing yourself here, going down to a squat that's comfortable for you, or taking a different pose. If this is comfortable, we're going to inhale here. On our exhale, I'm going to draw the nose to the fingertips, allowing the weight of the head. Just make this small adjustment in the neck here, providing a little stretch here without a strain. I'm going to inhale. On my exhale, I'm going to allow the head to come forward. Hands can come to the mat if this is available. Inhaling. And on our exhale, I'm going to allow my weight to come forward, push up through bent knees. I'm going to straighten the feet here to parallel. Bend the knees. Again, feet can come closer together. Arms can come up in chair pose and coming all the way up here. Inhale, exhale. Hands can come to Namaste at heart. We're going to go ahead and begin to take that squat again if it's comfortable and available. Arms can come up, knees can bend, coming all the way down here. And this time, we're going to begin to twist to our right. I'm going to allow my arm to come back and around here to meet my left hand, drawing the tailbone down. Feet are flat, toes are about 45 degrees to the mat, on the outer edge of the mat. I'm going to draw my right knee open. Of course, no strain. I'm going to begin to bring my right shoulder softly, softly opening here. Gaze is soft and neutral. Just taking a twist here to my right, allowing for a little bit of space to be created here in the low back on the right side. I'm going to inhale. On my exhale, I'm going to come through center. Namaste hands here, elbows to knees. Inhale, gaze is soft. Exhale, feeling centered, feeling focused, feeling quite grounded and rejuvenated here. allowing any thoughts that aren't serving us, energies, feelings, emotions that come up, just allow them to come right up and release out into the ether, and allow the universe to absorb that energy, ground, and reconnect so that we can feel sustained, revitalized, rejuvenated, happy and abundant in our daily life. Inhaling, and on our exhale, if this is comfortable, we'll stay here, wrapping the right arm around the right knee and allowing the left arm to come behind us. Take hold of the fingers on the right hand with the left hand, and just very softly, kind of intending to draw the left shoulder up and back, but feeling more movement than it's actually happening. Head and neck are neutral here, gaze is soft, feeling a soft opening in the low back here. Inhaling, and on our exhale, allow the fingers to release. Come back to center here, namaste hands. Nose moves towards fingertips. Inhaling and exhaling here. And from here, I'm going to prepare for my last poses. I'm going to allow my tailbone to come down to the mat here. And just sit here for a moment, inhaling and exhaling. You can allow the head to come in between the knees if this is comfortable. Just allow the weight of the head and neck to come forward here. I'm going to prepare to come down into Shavasana. Again, feel free to take a different pose for your Shavasana. I'm going to take corpse pose. If you'd like to take a modification or a more restorative pose, feel free to set yourself up with a blanket, a bolster, blocks, however you like. You're going to prop yourself up. I'm going to lie flat, but I'm just going to provide a little support here in case you may want to create any additional restorative support for yourself here, for the back body as you come into either a restorative Shavasana or a full Shavasana. So feel free to take any modification here as long as you're comfortable. We'll be here for at least 5 or more minutes. That's completely up to you. Feel free to allow the back body to draw down either completely onto the mat or onto a restorative pose that you've perhaps built up supportive for yourself in order to be comfortable in your Shavasana. You can always begin to allow the legs to open as well if you prefer a restorative pose, using blocks or blankets or bolsters on the sides of your legs here if this is something that you're interested in. This is just an example here of what you can do and create for yourself at home or wherever you are practicing today. I'm going to go ahead and take full Shavasana on my mat and get yourself comfortable. So as I begin to prepare to come down, if it's available and doesn't disturb your setup, feel free to come into half boat pose here. Toes can point, can flex. Arms are parallel to the knees here. Feel free to extend, engaging the core here into full boat pose, balancing on your tailbone. Inhale, exhale, come back through bent knees and release the feet down to the mat here. Inhaling, preparing to come down. I'm going to begin to bring my right leg into my chest,
left leg in as I roll down here to my mat, making full contact with my mat. Feel free, if it's available, to point and flex the toes as you draw the knees into the chest here, opening the arms around the knees and giving them a hug. If you'd like, without strain, draw the neck up here and bring the head towards the knees and release the head back down. And I inhale, and on my exhale, I'm going to keep knees bent and release them down to the right side of my mat here. Head can turn to my left, extending my fingertips. No strain here in the low back. If it's more comfortable, you can release the knees down to the floor. Otherwise, we're going to inhale here and roll through center, engaging our core and releasing our bent knees to the left side of our mat here. Head can turn to the right. Again, knees can come all the way down, or they can hover over the floor about an inch to stay active with the feet here. Inhale, drawing the knees in through the center. Again, beginning to hug the knees here, head to knees. Release the head down to the mat. Release the left foot down. Release the right foot down here. Always taking caution with our body, not a fear-based caution, just to really be mindful in our movements, slowing our movements down even when we're moving quickly, just to bring awareness into our movements. And naturally, the more we practice, we will develop the ability to truly listen to our body and note differences between sensation and discomfort, or even where we may be aggravating and creating discomfort over time by practicing a pose, even slightly incorrectly. So we want to take the time to truly go through our asana practice with mindful awareness so that we can maximize the benefits of our practice each day. I'm going to inhale, exhaling here, slowing down our breathing. I'm going to extend our inhalations and exhalations here. Really feeling that the back body is opening and grounding down towards the earth. Feeling rooted here, connecting to source, allowing the body to feel supported. Perhaps the body is even feeling heavy and weighted down after today's practice. The mind perhaps is still or calmer than it was at the start of practice. And taking this time here to allow any unwanted or unneeded elements of our practice, of our experience that may not be serving us, just release out into the ether, back down into the earth, grounding, transmuting that energy into sustained positive energy that can revitalize us and provide nutrients and support for our overall well-being. You can continue to stay in Shavasana, focusing your attention and awareness on your breath. I'm going to come up here to assist
This would be a time where I would assist with any students, any particular needs, any offerings, making sure everyone is comfortable, supported, and able to engage in this grounding practice by having their needs met. And continuing to practice along with you. If we're lying in full Shavasana, palms are facing up, legs are open and allowing to fold open at our sides, slowing down our inhalation and exhalation, focusing on our breath, focusing on releasing any elements that do not serve our practice. Allowing thoughts to arise and subside just like our breath arises and subsides. Creating non-judgment in our mind and in our hearts through this grounding practice, which allows us to exchange energy with the earth so that we may meet the beauties and challenges of each day with grace and with love, compassion, and an open heart. Continue to come back to this grounding practice whenever needed, allowing yourself to reconnect with your truth, reconnect with your inner resource so that you can maintain balance, stability, and strength both on and off of the mat in each day. Preparing to come up to a seated pose here. I'm going to draw the knees into my chest, placing my feet flat on my mat. One knee can come up at a time. And then inhaling, bringing the knees into the chest here. Again, drawing the head towards the knees if it's comfortable and available. Extending back here. Beginning to roll over to your right side. Coming up onto your hands and walking yourself back here to easy pose. Right leg over left. Hands to heart center. Let's take a moment in gratitude, thanking yourself for your contribution to your daily practice. Grateful to have the ability to practice, to cultivate compassion, love, and awareness in each practice, in each day that extends and resonates into our work, both on the mat and off of the mat. Remembering to bring mindful awareness into our asana practice so that we may set ourselves up for longevity in our practice and extended well-being to come. Thank you. Namaste.